Alright guys, what is up? It is Sensei Swole checking in for a new video on the channel. So today's video is a Q&A. I did an Instagram poll a few days ago and I did answer these questions on Instagram, but said that if I wanted to give a bit more detail into any of these questions, I will do so on my YouTube channel. So I'm pretty much going to go through these 5 or 6 questions that I have here. I'll have the question popped up on the top left or top right of the video while I answer each question. I'll try not to blab on too long for each one, but provide a bit more detail than what I did on an Instagram story. Just popped off the hoodie now, but it has been bloody freezing here in Sydney recently. Trying to stay as warm as possible. Now, without further ado, let's get into the first question. So this question was, what date do you start your prep? So competition prep for April next year. By the way, looking bigger than ever. Now that is from my boy Robbie, who I trained with at Leisure Dome Gym in Sydney. That's a gym where I regularly trained at last year and the year before while in competition prep, as my previous coach Sasha Ognanovsky owns that gym, and it's just been convenient to train there with like-minded people that also compete. Now, in regards to the question, what date do I start prep? So looking at the timeline, at the moment, what I'm doing with my new coach is a maintenance phase, which I'm running for about 11 or 12 weeks coming off my 7-month off season. And we're pretty much just trying to tighten up slightly, maybe even do a pre-prep, which is sort of just shedding off some unwanted fat before we start our actual prep, giving us a better head start into the competition prep of about 25 weeks. So in regards to the question, I'll most likely be starting my prep about mid-October this year. So that's just under 3 months away from now. I'll be starting about 25-week prep. Normally I've only done a 14-week prep in 2020 and then about 16 or 17 weeks last year. Now I'm going with my new coach and doing a 25-week prep to really bring in the craziest condition I can. I will be trying to go for a pro card in classic physique and possibly in bodybuilding. So putting it all here, 15 weeks of a maintenance and cleanup diet now, and then 25 weeks of prep. So pretty much dieting for 40 weeks as of last Monday. Yeah, it's going to be insane. It'll probably be another 9 months before I can enjoy a cheat meal or something off diet. But you got to do it, you know, we got goals to smash, we got to meet them. Doing almost triple the normal length of prep, but hopefully it all pays off. Now, let's see the next question. So this is Mr. Sharma. How does one get a pump for the biggest vein in the body? So this is just one of my mates trying to get a laugh out of me, but I just took this in terms of overall vascularity. So what can help with overall vascularity, especially when training, of course. I just joked around at first on the Instagram response and I said, take 5 scoops of pre-workout and a spoonful of Himalayan salt. And then I did write a disclaimer, don't actually do that. But that's about the pre-workout. Definitely have a scoop or 2 scoops, whatever you want to do. But the pink Himalayan salt is actually a good trick. So a lot of people, a lot of bodybuilders and even fitness influencers always do admit that they take some pink Himalayan salt, either adding it into a meal or chucking in about half a tablespoon or so of pink Himalayan salt with the pre-workout. And this just honestly really does help get some crazy pumps when you're in the gym. I usually do this when I have big days such as back day or leg day, and the pump is phenomenal. Like I'll be doing legs and then I just look at my arms and even they're just the bicep veins bulging out of nowhere. It's just obviously because having a good amount of sodium in your body can help you get a better pump. It's just simple ways of thinking about it. And pink Himalayan salt just seems to do the trick. So maybe try that next time you have your pre-workout before the gym. Some pre-workout, some pink Himalayan salt. Let me know how you go in the comments. Another one from a good mate of mine. How do you get your massive boobies? All right, nice. So we're talking about the pectacles here, the pecs. Once again, another sarcastic response from me on Instagram, which was just bench press your living room sofa for 3 sets of 15 reps every morning equals instant pec gains. But for real, personally, since I started training in the start, I train everything pretty much the same in terms of its amount of volume throughout the week. But certain muscle groups such as, you know, my traps, my pecs, my calves, and my arms overall have responded really well to training, and they sort of just blew up within the first 2-3 years of training. But don't get me wrong, there are certain body parts that have been lacking. For example, having a big chest does also create an illusion of having smaller shoulders, especially if they're not one of your strong points. So I've always felt that my shoulders have been lacking because I'm chest dominant. I've been trying to up the volume on those, you know, training them 3 times a week, only with about 1 or 2 exercises each time, just to add some more frequency and volume for that muscle group. But in terms of how I got my chest like that, honestly, it's nothing crazy. I usually keep my chest workouts pretty simple, maybe 4 to 5 movements, usually 2 kind of pressing movements, whether that may be 1 dumbbell type press. I usually opt for flat dumbbell bench, And then I usually do a incline Smith's bench press for my barbell bench press of choice. After that, it's usually more stretching type movements. So I might do some sets on the pec deck, and then also maybe high to low cable flies just to target the mid to lower pecs. Keep it pretty simple like that. If I was to chuck in another exercise for maybe my upper chest, it could be something called a Landmine Press, which is using a fixed barbell like on a T-bar row. Chucking on a 10 or 20 kilo plate, holding the plate like so kind of almost like you're praying. And then I like to just ensure that the end of the barbell towards you kind of lands just between the pecs, so in that little groove. And then from there, you're basically pressing the weight up and forward while keeping your elbows pretty much as close as they can be, which really creates a lot of tension in the upper pec. If not that, it'll probably be just dumbbell pullovers. So lying down with, the upper part of your torso on a bench and bringing the weight all the way back and behind, getting a really good stretch in your upper pec, and then back straight. Now let's get on to the next question. Alright, so this is from a good mate of mine, Danny. He's actually helped me in the start of his YouTube channel edit a few videos, such as my stage day video and behind the scenes. He was just asking when to be training. We haven't trained in a while, so I hit him up and we're going to be getting a session in next Tuesday, which will either be legs or push day. So we'll see what happens. Now let's get to this next one, which is how do you get big shoulders? Please, I need help. Alright, so pretty much what I wrote on my response on Instagram for this was, to be honest, shoulders have been a slow muscle group in terms of growth for myself because I'm chest dominant, and I always find my shoulders lacking in comparison. Only recently, through increasing the amount of volume and frequency of training my delts, especially the side delts and rear delts, I found they started, having a bit more of that factor of popping out and being more prominent. But one thing I did make clear in my response here was I just recommended to avoid lifting excessively heavy or ego lifting when training shoulders. For example, when I was about a year or two into the gym, I was about 20 years old, I was lifting ridiculously heavy on most lifts. I remember I managed to hit 50 kilos per hand on chest press. I was doing about 44s or 45s for shoulder press for a decent amount of reps, maybe 6 to 8 reps. And yeah, it felt amazing lifting that weight, but you could not feel a good mind-muscle connection during that, because it honestly just felt like you were just pushing the weight with your joints and a bunch of accessory muscle groups and not really maintaining strict form, time under tension, and a good mind-muscle connection. So pretty much I just said to avoid lifting unnecessarily heavy and maybe try training your shoulders more frequently. So pretty much splitting your volume throughout the week, or maybe adding in a little bit more by, let's say, having maybe your side delts trained with your chest, your rear delts trained with your back, and then doing a shoulder dominant day on its own throughout the rest of the week. So I pretty much recommended to do so. So maybe chuck in 4 to 5 sets of side delts with your chest session, 4 to 5 sets of rear delts with your back session, and then have a shoulder only day where you can simply do something like a front delt dominant compound movement like military press or seated Smith shoulder press. Then after that, you could probably just do an additional 4 or 5 sets for your side delts, whether that be dumbbell side lateral raises or leaning away cable raises for your side delts, and the same for rear delts. It could simply just be 3 to 4 sets of maybe 15 to 20 reps for rear delt flies on the pec deck machine, or possibly something like face pulls with a rope attachment on a cable machine. And the reason we're keeping side delts and rear delts just to about 4 to 5 sets each during that shoulder only session is because I'm recommending to also implement some side delts and rear delts in your other sessions with your chest workout and your back workout. So overall, throughout that training week, you should have enough stimulus for each head of your delt. Yeah, maybe just give that a go and you might get some better results with your growth for that. Okay, so I'm probably going to leave it at those 5 questions that I just answered, because the rest of them are not PG for YouTube. They're just my mates messing around. So yeah, pretty much those 5 questions answered real quick. The question responses on Instagram were a bit shorter. I just wanted to dive into it a bit more, or even answer it just here again, because some of you may not be following me on Instagram, and why not just chuck it on here as well. And if you aren't following me on Instagram, I'll probably chuck that up right here, so you can go follow there, keep up with the journey. But yeah, that's been Sensei Swole for this Q&A episode. I'll probably do another one maybe in a few weeks. As always, you can message me any questions on my Instagram, or even drop it in the comment section here below, and I can use that for the next question and answer video. Other than that, there should be a new training video coming out in the next week, another physique update as well, and maybe another diet related video or recipe. You have to wait to find out. But for today, that's Sensei Swole checking out.